Her Royal Highness is expecting another child, I hear.
Well, she should be happy.
She would be, were it not for her father, the English Prince Consort.
What's he saying now?
He's ill, Herr von Bismarck. He's worn himself out, I think, trying to manage countries that are not his. Ours, for instance. I understand he's failing. Have you not heard?
I do not follow affairs in England. Nor do I sniff around the court. Why do you hang around them, Moltke? I thought you were a soldier.
I am the Crown Prince's aide. I cannot easily leave. Besides, it keeps me near the king.
How's the king?
Confused. He's gone off to Ems to drink sulphur, which he finds more efficacious than the advice of his ministers, who've become somewhat progressive.
Well, Prussia is becoming full of liberals, huh? They'd be the death of us. I advised against it, but nobody listens to me. They relieved me of my post at Frankfurt because I was too reactionary for them and rude to the Austrians. No, I'm to go to Paris as ambassador. Oh, the Anglo-Coburgs are breeding again. One fades and another pops out. One should beware of sentimental alliances, Moltke. English marriages, Austrian pacts, they're not the way. Prussia should stand proudly behind her ruler.
And behind her ruler, the army should be the power.
Generals are bad politicians. They have no vision, except along a gun's sight. No, the king should send for me. He knows that. But he dare not. Since the upset of '48, kings are afraid to rule.
When will you go to Paris?
I may not go. I have the feeling I should stay in Berlin. Things there may change.
You mean you will change them?
The river of history runs as it will, my dear Moltke. If I put my hand into it, it's because I regard it as my duty, not because I think I can alter its course. How ill is the English Prince Consort?
They say he's dying.
I would be a screen between your majesty and your subjects.
And Parliament, Herr Bismarck?
Perfectly simple. Ignore them. Just spend the taxes.
They would cut off your head. And mine. In the Opera Place. Beneath my windows.
I would have died fighting in the cause of my king. And you, in affirming your divine right. What difference? Whether it's the scaffold or the battlefield?
I doubt if your colleagues will agree.
As minister-president, I would have no colleagues, only subordinates. I would serve God through serving my king.
But there'll still be a crown council. I shall wish Bernstorff to remain as
And I may as well go back and be a farmer.
For God's sake, don't do that! I don't know what to do. Everyone is against me. Today, I saw the Crown Prince. I drew this up. It's an instrument of abdication. It's my last hope. Oh, thank you.
The point is whether we are to have royal government or the rule of the mob. I have no faith in liberal public feeling. There's only one policy. Only outside Prussia can we strengthen our position inside. But I must have control.
But Bismarck, remember, I am your sovereign.
I will always submit to your majesty's orders, even if I disagree with them. One day, you will be emperor of all Germany.
I don't want to be emperor of Germany.
But your son does. And who will guide him? You can tear that up.
You are a red reactionary, Bismarck, but you may kiss hands.
shall do my duty. It's God's affair to give me understanding.
Well, you'd better have this.
Excuse me, Your Royal Highness. I find it extremely warm.
In England, we should have the windows wide open on such a night.
Yeah, I'm sure. I don't like Berlin and all this.
You come from Schönhausen in East Prussia.
That is right.
What sort of a place is it?
Small, maize growing, full of autumn leaves now. In May, the bare bushes around the house turn into mountains of white blossom.
You're fond of nature?
I miss my trees and my family.
I'm engaged in making a little garden here for my children. The swing, seesaw, giant slides.
Your Royal Highness has a considerable family now.
If you think 3 considerable.
Whom you will bring up in the English manner.
I hope I shall bring them up to be good Germans.
Yes. You still have time to study politics.
I was taught to appreciate political matters. I would not consider myself a good wife else.
You're ambitious, ma'am. For your husband.
And for my country.
Which?
I am a Prussian now, Herr von Bismarck, and a deeply patriotic one. All the more so, I trust, for not being blind.
I'm a patriot too, Your Royal Highness. I serve my king.
He is the most ill-mannered, unrespectable, and unprincipled character.
And now he has adjourned Parliament. He wants my throne.
Youth is careless with words, sir.
Don't choose between father and son. That's what this is. I'll have him removed from council and court. I'll relieve him of his command. I'll lock him up.
Your Majesty.
He's my only son, and he betrays me.
He's only, if I may say so, a young man who is too fond of his appearances and his wife. Those ideas are not his. They come from Windsor.
They all want me to die.
Germany does. But Your Majesty shouldn't be seen to be too hard on his son. Better quietly exclude him from your confidence. Anything he learns gets back to London.
You think so?
It is plain. But don't dishonor him. He's your heir. Let him be a decoration and a soldier. That'll do no harm. It's the princess, with all respect. Your Majesty should put the gag and bridle on.
I used to burn her father's letters.
If I may advise you, sir, forbid him to speak again, except to you. Keep them both out of the way, and I'll put some paid ears in their household, if you consent.
I suppose I must.
Deal gently with the young man, Absalom. I trust His Majesty was not too much moved. I did what I could.
I asked my father to forgive the annoyance and pain I had caused him. I cannot take back the words I spoke, but in the future I shall be silent.
That would be best.
The king now knows I'm an opponent of the government.
I, too.
On that understanding, I'm prepared to regard the matter as closed. You will no doubt wish to forgive and forget.
I often forget, Your Highness. but I never forgive. When I was a young man, I used to dream of a powerful and influential Prussia.
Not a unified Germany?
Ah, that's a liberal idea. Germany, united by a constitution, under an elected parliament. I have no time for that humanitarian twaddle, wine or beer.
Neither.
But if we unite Germany under the Prussian army, they'll steal their thunder.
The Austrians wouldn't let us.
And make them.
You want war?
It's a clumsy method, but one tries every way. The most dangerous last. They have condescended to us long enough. There's no room for both of us in Germany.
We would have no allies.
Neither will they. I don't seek the collapse of Austria. All I want is to establish Prussian leadership in Germany so that the other states know which side their bread is buttered.
Will Parliament agree?
They won't be asked. Those questions will not be decided by speeches or resolutions of majorities, but by iron and blood. How certain can you be?
Nothing in war is certain.
I dislike war. You can't control it. But I'm God's soldier and must go where he wants. One quick victory in the field.
I'll make the arrangements.
We must occupy Vienna.
No, Your Majesty.
The army must march through it.
And precipitate a general conflict?
Why not? The commanders are prepared.
Then they are fools. We will not make Prussia stronger by taking 1 yard of Austrian land.
The Austrians have lost.
And we won our prize. Now let's go home and bargain.
I will not agree.
Am I Your Majesty's Minister President or not? Let each tribe stay in its own lands. What would we gain by subduing Austria?
Power in Hungary and in the Balkans.
Hungary is full of Catholic Magyars. Let them keep it. And the Balkans aren't worth the healthy bones of one single Pomeranian grenadier. Let the others fight their own battles. War should only be used for a policy worth its sacrifices. No one has seen men dying on the battlefield. I have. Lightly fight.
Oh, don't cry, man.
His tears are political.
If Your Majesty won't agree, I can no longer serve you. I began this war. If I can't end it, I may as well be dead.
Come back, Bismarck. Don't be a fool.
Don't take me! Sit down and be reasonable.
But Your Majesty will not listen to me!
Listen to him, Father.
I began this war for a political purpose. Now it's achieved, and everything else is nonsense. We have shown Europe our strength. Now we must use it wisely. We shall at least need the neutrality of Austria if ever we have to fight Russia or France.
I agree with Count von Bismarck.
You agree with
In this
Bismarck?
case,
I'm flattered.
we will return to Berlin and negotiate.
With strength.
Enough blood has been shed.
His Royal Highness, the Crown Prince, speaks with good sense and humanity.
You're all against me.
This is disgusting.
Let us go home to our families.
This is German champagne.
It tastes like it, Your Majesty.
Oh, I drink it for economy and from patriotism. Help yourself.
I'm afraid my patriotism stops short of my stomach. French champagne is better. We could put ourselves in the way of acquiring some of it.
I want no trouble with France.
We shall not avoid it, Your Majesty. The French will not stand by and let us grow, now that we have beaten Austria.
Will the French attack us?
If they're provoked to, then...
What will happen?
But don't be afraid. We have the industry, the will, the best army, and the biggest guns in Europe. The real power lies with us.
May I light that for you, Herr Bismarck?
No, Count Bismarck. I've made him a count now.
Can you?
I'm sure I can.
No. There's a good boy, Willikins.
I can ride now, too. And one day I shall be King of Prussia and Emperor of Germany and ride at the head of my troops.
Don't be so restless. You wobble the table. It's not very strong.
I can.
Now, I don't agree with you. We can never match France.
We can if all Germany joins her force behind ours. And she will if the French attack us. And we shall win, Your Majesty, and be the unchallenged leaders of Europe.
I want no part of it. There's no logic to it.
Politics are not based on logic, sir. They are the capacity for choosing the most useful way.
I want to reign here in peace.
Why has Grandpa gone? Have you offended him?
Oh, no. Elderly gentlemen sometimes have trouble with their bladders.
How will you manage?
My bladder?
To make war with France.
Oh. We shall name your cousin, Prince Leopold, heir to the Spanish throne. The Spaniards will be glad to have a Hohenzollern, but the French will object and demand us to withdraw him. When we refuse, they will attack. But that's a secret. Huh?
Ah. This is a draft of the telegram His Majesty would like sent to the French.
Must be something in the water. His Majesty is too lenient. There's only one way to answer an ultimatum. And that is with another one. There. Now it may go to Paris. Shell them.
I will not shell unarmed citizens, women and children.
Paris is Sodom and Gomorrah. It's not Vienna.
We shall reduce it by siege.
It will take too long.
I do not want the slaughter of France.
Because she is a friend of England. And the Crown Princess and her family forbid it.
My wife is loyal. She is my wisest advisor.
She's against us.
That is not so.
It's said in Berlin.
I do not care what lies are told in Berlin. It is the generals here that support me.
They should all be hanged.
I will tell them.
Your Royal Highness, do you really want England, or perhaps Russia, to join against us? I don't give a fig for France. I don't want 1 inch of French soil, but I want it ended. There are more important things than a few French souls. I have work to do in Berlin.
Then I shall ask my father to have you sent there.
too. I'm only His Majesty's poor clerk. But if your Royal Highness takes his place, I hope you'll find servants as faithful as I am to your father. But I do not intend to be one of them.
Yet, there is one matter of state in which we need each other.
Oh.
The unification of Germany. It is urgent that the German parliaments offer the imperial crown to my father.
You think it will be like in England? Democratic and constitutional? It will never be.
It will be as I wish it.
But your Royal Highness is not king yet. And the king will not accept it unless it's offered by the princess. However, as you are so anxious, we can arrange it together.
How will you persuade them?
I'll pay them.
I will not be German emperor.
All the princes beg you, sir.
I will not change the crown of Prussia for a crown of filth.
Parliament invites you, father.
Do they expect me to pick up my crown from the gutter? I have mine from God. I'm an old man. You won't take advantage of me.
His Majesty is like a horse. He takes fright at any unaccustomed object and grows obstinate if driven, but gradually gets used to it.
Then you must coax him.
There's no need. The Crown Prince will do it. He has emperor madness. As if it mattered who reigns. I will govern Germany.